and it was seen as controversial. But let me get into it right here. Husband lost his ring at the club last night. Husband, 39, went out to the club with his 22-year-old work friend last night. That, in my opinion, is a red flag. That's the first red flag. Took off his wedding ring and put it in his pocket and lost it. I have nothing to say to him. I'm speechless. His defense is he took the ring off because it was scaring girls away who were trying to talk to his single friend. LOL. He's sorry. I came home to roses and a card saying he couldn't be more sorry. I ripped up the card and I'm sleeping in the other bedroom. Not sure what I'm looking for, but I'm so hurt. As you should be. The fact that your married friend wants to go to the club is a problem. I've never been to a club in my life, but as a married man, no. No. It's kind of like your husband saying, "Oh, we're gonna go to the strip club just to go get something to eat." You're really there to look at women stripping. Just be honest. This man tried to pick up a woman, and he took off his ring. Why? Because he's trying to show that he's not married. His excuse doesn't add up. Who goes to a club? What married man goes to a club with their single friend and for the sake of their single friend takes off his own ring and says, yeah, and puts it in his pocket? That makes no sense. And he's also insulting her intelligence. If you are married, you wear a wedding ring. I don't want to hear excuses of, oh, I might lose it. I'm scared that, it's priceless and I just choose not to wear it. Get a silicone ring. I work with mechanics every single day. Every single day I work with them. I talk to them. I visit their shops. A lot of them are married. Their hands are dirty, grimy, nasty. Oil, they have oil on them. They, dirty, just gritty, just ugly. They have their ring on. Now, it may not be the ring, but it's a ring on their left hand, signifying that they are married. I can think, just in my area, I can think of 30 married mechanics that I see every day and they have a ring on. So the excuse, oh, I don't want it to get all messed up. No. In the modern world, you're able to have an option that you can wear every day. This right here, this is a silicone ring. Very easy, very simple, very basic. There's no excuse. Whenever I see a married person, and they say that they're married, or they say, "Oh, my wife or my husband," and I don't see a wedding ring, the only excuse that is valid, is a medical reason, and that's got to be something like short term, or you just don't have a left ring finger for whatever reason. That's it. There's no other excuse. Seriously. It bothers me because the reason it bothers me is because when you are married, and this bothered me before I got married, but even now, if I see someone that is married and they don't have a wedding ring on, I'm suspicious of that person in regards to their marriage. What are you hiding? What are you trying to not show? Why do you not want people to see that you're married? That's what a wedding ring is for. That's the primary purpose of it. It's a symbol of the vow that you've made, and it is to show you are off the market. Why aren't you wearing one? Oh, well, As this guy would say, I lost it. I just, sweetheart, I don't know what happened. I was at the club and I was with my friend, and he's single, and I had to take mine off because I don't want the girls. I don't want to scare the girls away from him with me having my ring on. So I took my ring off and I put it in my pocket. And I lost it. That is nonsensical. Let me come right here to another Reddit post to show I'm not just bashing on the men. Wife lost wedding rings for the second time. So my wife has severe ADHD. She is awesome, but misplacing things is a common theme. We've been together for almost 15 years, married for almost 14. She lost her engagement ring with a center diamond about 5 years ago. 3 years back, my parents gifted me a diamond from my grandmother when she passed. I had that made into a custom ring for my wife to replace the engagement ring, and it matched the wedding band. She loved it. Sadly, about 6 months ago, she lost both rings. We were in the process of moving, and I was holding my breath we would find them in the packing process. Today, the packing has been completed, and hope is lost that they are anywhere here. So at this point, what do? It's a steep investment to keep purchasing rings at this rate, but I would also like her to have a wedding ring at the same time. I'm trying not to be mad, upset that she lost a sentimental diamond from my grandmother. Thoughts? Anyone else had a similar experience? Too long didn't read. My wife lost her wedding rings for the second time. Should I keep replacing them? I'm not gonna blame ADHD. I'm not gonna blame ADHD. I once had a coworker who was married, and she shared that her husband would just lose rings all the time. Oh, someone he's lost like 6 rings. I was single back then, and I asked her. I said, "How?" I asked. I said, "What?" I knew what he did, and I said, "What does he do again?" And she's like, "Yeah, he manages a grocery store." Now, as someone at that time that worked in a grocery store, I knew what it entailed. My boss, our store manager, he was married. He had a ring on. I never saw him without it. Our assistant manager was married. Never saw him without his ring. I knew people who worked in different sections of the grocery store married, and they would wear their rings. If your spouse, let me just say this. This is just me. If your spouse loses their ring, you can you got to really understand the circumstances. This is just me. You get one chance to lose your wedding ring. And it's got to be a very, 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 very damn good reason. Outside of that, you are trying to show that you're not married. It's that simple. I don't take my ring off. I eat with my ring on. I sleep with my ring on. When I'm showering, I'll move it. I'll wash it. I'll slide it right back. It doesn't. Your ring is supposed to fit. It's gonna have a nice fit around your ring finger. It's supposed to go over your knuckle, and it's supposed to be kind of solid, so that way it doesn't just move. So that when people say they lose their ring, I'm like, I don't. Why did you have to take your ring off? In what segment of society do you have to take your ring off? The airport? Even then, I'm like, you put everything in a box. You put everything in a box when you go through the airport. It goes through the. You put it in a tray. It goes through the machine. You raise your arms. You put your hands over your head like you're on a roller coaster, and then you go through, and then your stuff is on the other side. There's no reason, as a married person, to not wear a ring. That's a major, major problem. Oh, my hand's too big. My finger's too big. I encourage you, go onto a website called Manly Bands. They have some very, very fine rings. For guys and girls, by the way. Guys and girls, not just guys. The owner of the company and his wife, they have their own commercial for the company. And they have a video called Not Your Average Man.